Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to check my audio real quick. Okay, it sounds good. Cool beans. So today is September 1st, 2019. Welcome to Dope for Degrees Community Scholarship Chat. I started a few minutes early to give people time to join in and join the conversation. I'm going to leave a note in the chat box. Hey, sister. Thank you for joining. All right. If you all have any trouble hearing me or seeing me at any point in time, let me know. I check my audio through my phone. That's why I have my headphones on, but I think the audio is going well. I can hear some feedback too on the page. I can see some feedback. I am also, while we're waiting for people to join in, because we'll start in about a minute, I'm going to drop the link to Dope for Degrees website so everyone will have it. dopefordegrees.com. Put the link there. But I'm gonna wait 3:00 on the dot, so we have a minute. So I hope everyone's had a great Sunday, a productive Sunday at that time to just rest and relax, be with family. If you had something to do, everything went well. It is Labor Day weekend, so people have a longer weekend this weekend for those who are 9 to 5. So that's a good thing too. Today we're going to talk about scholarships. I'm going to give some tips and advice based on my previous experience having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships. And this is on YouTube Live. It's a thing we do every week. And it goes from 3:00 p.m. on Sundays, 3:00 Eastern Standard Time on Dope for Degrees YouTube channel every Sunday until 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So it's a 30-minute conversation just to help parents and students out for those who have questions about scholarships and how they work. All right, my sister said TMH, who is my mentor, Thomas Harrelson, he'll be on soon. That's good. That's good news. That's good news. I will say this week I spent some time catching up on some videos. I was a little bit behind from the In My Bag to a Recap videos. And so if you had a chance to look at any of the content we put up this week, it was all tailored toward what happened in Philadelphia and Danville for the In My Bag tour. I have a few more videos to upload regarding that. And then once I execute the remaining videos, I think it's about 2 or 3, then I will go back to scholarships and college and post content related to that. Every now and then you'll see content like you saw this week that's not related to scholarship specifically or college success or academic success, because this is a channel where you get updates on what's going on with Dope for Degrees. So as we have partnerships and as we have different opportunities and events, the public will be made aware through our YouTube channel, because we're not active on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We're only active on YouTube. And so welcome to today's Dope for Degrees Community Scholarship Chat. My name is Danielle Jeffers. I'm your host for today. I'm also the founder of Dope for Degrees, LLC. Dope for Degrees is a scholarship coaching company where I teach students how to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free. I graduated debt-free from Virginia Tech on May 17th, having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships, and that's May of this year. So I just graduated a few months ago. What's up, TMH? TMH said, peace, D-Money. I appreciate it. What's going on, TMH? What's going on, sister? But the beautiful thing about my experience winning so many scholarships was that scholarships were the catalyst for my independence as an adult. And I'm going to break that down. It'll be the first thing I talk about today. And then once I talk about that, I'm going to move into a brief update on what's going on with Dope for Degrees. And then I'll take any questions that anyone has in the chat. So the way this thing functions is you can leave questions or comments about scholarships or college or anything that's on your mind related to Dope for Degrees or scholarship success in the chat box. And I will address your question. And then I will also be happy to answer it while we have this 30-minute conversation. But I will say this briefly, that scholarships allow you to figure out how to manage your money and pay for such a big expense. So, for example, students who, let's look from the parent perspective. A parent decides that A person decides they want to get married. Let's go this route. They have children with their spouse. Okay. Now these children, let's say they have a desire for them to go to college from the time they're born. They know they want their kids to go to college. And these kids will grow up for 18 years. They'll go through all these different challenges. They'll mature. They'll become adults, all these things. And you know that you want them to go to college at birth. But how did you financially and socially and mentally or emotionally prepare them for the opportunity over the course of the 18 years they were in your household? And so my parents did a good job of preparing me for that opportunity by challenging me academically and also pushing me to always do my best. And those habits allowed me to increase my chances of success when I applied for my scholarships. But financially, they didn't do the best to prepare, though they had done some things to prepare in the past. Their health issues forced them to retire during my sophomore year of high school. And so when the money went away, the foundational principles for success were still embedded within me, which allowed me to drive and work toward what I want, which was to see my dream come true of going to college and graduating debt free. And so I want to wrap that up by saying, I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you look like as a student ethnically or your academics, your grades or whatever. It doesn't matter your background. What matters is how hard you're willing to work to see what you want to see manifest. So if you're willing to put in the work, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And that applies beyond scholarships. So that's my tip on just the bigger picture and why it's important to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt free period. Now, the second thing I want to talk about before I jump into the chat is updates on Dough for Degrees, what's going on. And so as you all know, Dough for Degrees is a scholarship coaching company where I teach students how to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt free. We wrapped up the In My Bag tour, which was an effort coordinated between myself and two other Virginia Tech graduates, Kevin Stevenson and Corey Hackett Green, who are the co-founders of No More Interviews, LLC. We partnered between our two companies to give more than 500 book bags filled with school supplies and 200 teacher appreciation gifts between my hometown of Danville, Virginia, which is in South Central Virginia, and Corey's hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so that was executed last month, because today is officially September 1st. That was executed at the top of August 3rd and August 17th. Those were the dates of the two events. And you can go to Dough for Degrees YouTube channel for evidence, I guess, or to see how everything went. That's updates on Dough for Degrees. What's coming up next? I do have a couple of speaking engagements. I'll be in Roanoke, Virginia on September 13th for a speaking engagement with the Virginia Statewide Neighborhood Conference. And you can check out our website for more information about that. I will possibly be in Roanoke to speak at a high school as well, but I'll let you know as that information is available. I usually give updates on that in YouTube videos or on these scholarship chats. So that's all for now. Once again, go to doughfordegrees.com. The link is in the chat for more information about what we do and how we can help you graduate debt free. Now, let's go to the chat. My sister asked, how did you maintain a positive outlook while being rejected for scholarships? That's a great question. I posted a video on my personal YouTube channel, and I haven't been active on there in a while because I was focusing on the In My Bag tour, but I've been focusing on Dough for Degrees because the children are back in school, the students are back in school. And so I want to make sure I meet their needs right now. So I'm going to drop the link to that video in this chat. But the reason why I'm dropping the link to that video is because this video basically sums up why you can always win in life, no matter what the circumstances are. And the video is called Perseverance Always Wins. The reason why I maintained a positive outlook was that, one, I knew what I wanted. I would see it. Like, I felt it within me. It was supposed to happen. And I felt that way. Like, whenever I get that feeling, like the way for Dough for Degrees, the way I feel about Dough for Degrees, I believe Dough for Degrees will be a unicorn in entrepreneurial world, entrepreneurial sector. When you say unicorn, it's a business that generates a large amount of money, and it's like the best at what it does. So you think about Apple and I forgot the other company, they're $1 trillion companies. Dough for Degrees is going to be $1 trillion company. And I felt that way since I birthed the company, quote unquote. And so how did I maintain a positive outlook while being rejected for scholarships? Is because I already knew that I was to succeed. I knew I had to overcome some obstacles and some challenges because I started the process not having an example of what it would take for me to succeed. I didn't know it would require me to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning as an 18-year-old and a senior in high school and do scholarships for 2 hours as soon as I open my eyes to apply for them. Boom, go to school, finish school, take a little break at my Boys and Girls Club, socialize with my friends, still do scholarships, work on my college applications, come home, do more scholarships, homework, and college applications, go to sleep at midnight and wake back up at 5 a.m. every day for 5 months to make my dream become a reality. I didn't know that it would require that, but I already knew I would succeed. So there was no reason for me to quit when I already felt like I was going to win. But for my suggestion for students who are kind of unsure if they'll really win, well, if you quit, then you're definitely going to lose. If you quit, you lose. But if you persevere and you keep fighting for what you want, then you'll grow and you'll learn from your mistakes and your experiences, which gives you the opportunity to succeed. And so when things get hard and when you don't know how things are going to work out and when you have questions and you're uncertain, keep going. Keep going. Because I read a quote today. It was saying something along the lines of, why would you quit now? It'll take you back to where you were when you started. When you started, you were praying to be where you are right now. I hope that makes sense. I'll basically say it again. I kind of messed it up a little bit. But why would you quit now when you come so far? It would only take you back to where you started. But when you started, you prayed to be where you are right now. And so I've worked so hard to get to this point right now in my life, my personal life, as well as through Doe for Degrees. There's no reason to quit. The same thing with scholarships. You're not supposed to have all the answers. That's a part of the journey. The best part of any person's success is the journey, because that's where you learn the most. And so when you're getting rejection letters, which I received about 12 rejection letters my first 2 weeks in the scholarship process. And I was like, yeah, this is not worth it. I don't think I want to do this because it's not working. And I called my aunt in Philly and I talked to family and they were like, you can cry your tears and wipe them up and wipe them, but you need to get back to work. Because if you don't put in the work, you won't see the results. And I'm telling you, when you've done something and you know you put it in the time and the energy it requires, and AKA sweat equity, which is basically doing the groundwork and the grunt work without getting anything out of it, and you see your success, no one can deny it. And on top of that, you can speak from experience, which is something most people can't speak from. They can only speak from assumptions and speak from staying on the sidelines. But when you played in the game, when you were on the court and you scored the points, you know what it takes to succeed. And therefore you can teach others, which is a form of leveraging your intellectual property. And so, sister, I hope that answered your question. Let me know. I'll wait for the next question to come in. But what I will say right now, since most students are back in school, I will say it's important for you to go see your guidance counselor. You want to take the time to go see your guidance counselor ASAP, as soon as you can. I know this is Labor Day weekend, so you probably won't be back in school until Tuesday, but go see your guidance counselor. And when you see your guidance counselor, this is what you need to say. Basically, hey, I'm a whatever year you're in. I'm a sophomore, freshman, junior, senior, whatever, here at this high school, and I want to graduate from college debt free. How can the guidance department assist me in that process? And the reason why I say ask your guidance counselor is because every school is different. I went to George Washington High School in Danville, Virginia. The things they did at GW to help us get to college were different from what they did at my rival high school, Dan River High School. Totally different. So you don't want to look at everyone's placement in proximity to your hometown and assume that everyone's doing the same thing. That's the same thing with the scholarship process. You don't work off assumptions. You don't want to assume the organization received your submission. You don't want to assume your person who's writing your letter of recommendation submitted on time. Just double check and do it with kindness and sincerity, and then you'll know, because it's better to know than not to know. So go see your guidance counselor, talk to them. And if you have any questions or concerns, I'm going to drop a link where you can contact me, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. I'm also going to drop some content on Doe for Degrees this month related to what students should do as they prepare to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt free. And if you aren't aware, you can earn scholarships as early as middle school, from what I've learned and what I've noticed. My sister asked, how important is it to have a support system when applying for scholarships? It's extremely important. Those of you all who are enrolled in Doe for Degrees Scholarship Success Program, you've heard me say, build your scholarship success team. It's important to have a support system, because this is a journey that's going to require you to put in more effort and work than you probably have put in so far in your life. And it's something that doesn't have any guarantees, because there may be 100 people applying for this one scholarship and they're only going to select one winner. Well, out of that 100 people, if you want to be that winner, then you have to be the best. You have to be the one that pulls at their heartstrings and makes them feel like they can make a good investment in you. And so what I want to say is that sometimes it can get discouraging. As I mentioned before, I was discouraged having received so many rejection letters, but you're discouraged. When you feel discouraged, you just can't stop. You have to keep going. And so it's important to tell people that you're applying for scholarships. And what I also tell my clients is to be a walking billboard. And so soon through Dope for Degrees, we'll offer merch where you can, on the merch, the shirt, it'll say, I need scholarships. So people know you need money to go to school. You're a walking billboard for what you need. But the thing about it is, tell people that you're applying for scholarships. I remember when I started, I tried to tell my friends, like, hey, I'm getting ready to go on the scholarship journey. I would love to have y'all go on it with me because all of us want to go to college. And I know if my parents can't afford it, and I'm not being prideful when I say this, but if my parents can't afford it, I know our parents together can't afford it because we all live in the same hometown, probably have the same socioeconomic status. And so we could all use money to go to college and graduate debt free. And on top of that, beyond that, just because some parents can't afford it, they can keep their money in their pocket and leverage other people's money and not put a dime out of their own pocket to pay for their students' education. Even if your parents don't qualify for financial aid or you don't qualify for financial aid, just go to our website and I will be more than happy to help you with that. But tell your parents, tell your teachers, tell your guidance counselor. That's another part of your support system, is talking to the people who are in the positions to help you succeed. Tell your coaches, tell the people who can speak on your behalf, the people who will most likely write your letters of recommendation. Tell everyone that you are applying for scholarships. And even if the only thing they can give you is a word of encouragement, ask them to do that. Ask them to ask you how it's going. Things like that, because encouragement goes a long way. TMH asks, what mindset do you need to have while you are waiting for a response for your scholarship application? You need to have a mindset of hope. A mindset of hope. I dropped a YouTube video. This was a while ago. I think I was still in school when I released this. But I forgot. I think it's on my website. I'm going to share that video with you all, because I talk about the mindset of the thought process you need to be successful in college. Yeah, here it is. The perspective you need to win scholarships. And I talk about it in this video. And I would love for you all to watch that so that you have a chance to understand where I'm coming from when I say that. But what mindset do you need to have while you are waiting for a response from your scholarship? A mindset of hope. My favorite book, which is the Bible. Most people hear me say this because people love to quote things all the time. I quote a lot from the Bible. It's my favorite book ever. And it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so if you think you're a winner, and you are a winner. If you think you're a loser, you're a loser. Like, think your success. You can literally think anything you want to think and it'll come to you, because your mind has the power to attract things to you. And I know that may seem wild and crazy to some people, but it's a real thing. I thought every day that I was going to graduate from college debt free. I told myself over and over and over again, even when I hadn't won a scholarship in months. And I kept saying it. I kept believing it. And it manifested. I walked across the stage, didn't owe anyone $1 in regards to student loans, and I was good. I graduated debt free. And along with saying it, you also have to put in the work. And so when you say what mindset do you need to have while you are waiting for a response from your scholarship, you should have a mindset of confidence, perseverance, and success, but that should be edified in the fact that you put in your best effort in regards to the application. Because I can remember just submitting some applications just to get them in, knowing that I didn't do my best, and I never won any of the ones that I turned in half done or that I didn't do my best on. I only won the ones when I put in my full effort. And so you have to be confident in the fact that you gave it all and that you left it all on the court, or you left it all in your essay. You just poured out your heart, basically. My sister asked, how do you ask for letters of recommendation? Okay, so in regards to letters of recommendation, basically scholarships, let me break this down to you. A scholarship is a form of financial aid that's given to a student to help them go to college and graduate. There are 4 different forms of financial aid: scholarships, loans, work study, and grants. 4 forms: scholarships, loans, work study, and grants. Out of those 4 forms, 3 of them don't require you to pay anyone back. They are scholarships, grants, and work study. The only option of financial aid that requires you to pay someone back are student loans. And that's the one most people take out, student loans. Now, I will be dropping some content this month related to breaking down that and making it more clear to everyone. But I want to let you know, with scholarships, a scholarship gives you an opportunity to talk about yourself. But in the midst of talking about yourself and edifying or giving proof that you've done what you said you did in your essays, give me 1 second. In the midst of doing that, you also have people that have to support what you say. And so you can say you built a mansion, you can say you did all this, you can say you did all that, and then you can say you did that, and then you say you had a 4.2 GPA. They're going to ask for proof, which will be a transcript. Boom. But then they also want to hear someone else's testimonial or statement of goodwill in regards to you and who you are as a person. And that's where letters of recommendation come in. And so there are three core components to scholarships almost. You have what you say, you have the proof, and you have what others say. Basically, what I want to say is when you ask for those letters of recommendation, you want to ask for them from people who can speak well of you. So basically, this is how it works. You don't ask for letters of recommendation from your family, your close friends, or family, close friends. Trying to think, there's one party I'm missing. It'll come back to me. But anyone who could have a conflict of interest, basically. Like your family, your mother, of course she's going to speak well of you because she's your mother. Your close friends, your best friends, of course they're going to speak well of you because y'all are close friends. But what about your coach who's not related to you by blood or who only sees you in a particular atmosphere or particular light when you're in practice or when you're playing in the game? What about your teacher who only sees you in a particular light? What about your mentor? How about your pastor? People like that who see you in a professional atmosphere, quote unquote, and can speak to who you are as a person. So when you go to them to ask them for letters of recommendation, you want to ask them and say, hey, I would like for you to support me in this opportunity by writing a letter of recommendation. Be clear about what you want them to write about. Do you want them to talk about your leadership skills? Do you want them to talk about your character, your integrity, your work ethic, your accomplishments, your ambitions, your aspirations, your desires? What do you want them to talk about? Be very specific. What I typically ask people to do is write it up and give that to them along with a copy of your resume so that they can start pulling in some of the things you've done in the midst of talking about what you asked them to talk about. But what you asked them to talk about has to align with what the scholarship asked them to speak about in regards to being the person who sends them the letter of recommendation. So basically, that's how you ask for letter of recommendation. Be very specific, intentional, but also express gratitude once it's given and let them know the results of that scholarship. That's something I was very aware of when I was doing, because if people have invested in you, they've invested time into you, they want to know how you're doing. They want to know if you succeeded or you failed, and there's nothing to be embarrassed by. There were plenty of scholarships that I applied for that people wrote letters of recommendation for that I did not win. I won 45 to 50% of the scholarships I applied for. So, and I submitted more than 120 scholarship applications, 120 scholarship essays. So, I mean, I probably wrote 60. I probably applied for 60 different scholarships, and people wrote letters of recommendation, and I didn't get it. And I still told them, thank you for your time, thank you for your effort, but I didn't win the scholarship. Fully Golden said, I own 3 grants already. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. To distinguish what's different between a scholarship and a grant, scholarships typically require the student to apply for them, whereas grants are typically given based on eligibility. So the difference is a student would search for the scholarship opportunities and write an application, write an essay, and submit that, whereas a grant, when I got to Virginia Tech, I was awarded 3 different grants based on my status as an in-state student, as well as a minority student and a need-based student. They were given to me based on my eligibility to fit, or my ability to fit the criteria that the grant had determined. So that's the difference. I wait for the next question to come in. Right now it's 3:22. So we have about 8 minutes left on this conversation this Sunday. As always, if y'all have any video suggestions or anything like that, feel free to drop a comment. Any questions, feel free to drop a comment in this chat or any of my videos. I get alerts when I get comments and likes and stuff like that. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. I do want to shout out one of our partners through Dope for Degrees, Auchtoctones Assembly. I'll drop their link in the website, in the chat box. Let me see. So everyone has it. But Auchtoctones Assembly is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to educating and raising up American indigenous voices. A lot of people are familiar with the term indigenous through the term Indian, so an American Indian. They're dedicated to raising up their voices. And I'm proud to say that Dope for Degrees is now on TV. AINT, the American Indian, I'm going to make sure I said it correctly. TMH, help me out with that if you don't mind. What does the acronym stand for exactly? I'm actually going to the TV right. I'm going to it right now. American Indian Network TV. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to drop that link to that in the chat as well. And American Indian Network TV. Dope for Degrees videos and content is played through that throughout the week. So you can see us 7 days a week, I believe, on that network. And so, hey, Dope for Degrees made it to TV as well as radio and some other platforms also. And so we're just getting the word out about how students can graduate from college debt free and how families can work together to ensure that a student succeeds, because that's what's most important, is joining in the efforts to support, to make sure students get what they need, but they also aren't out there in the wind trying to figure it out themselves. Thomas said, American Indian Network TV, AINT rhymes with paint. And it's 7 days a week. So it's on 7 days a week. In addition to that, I do want to shout out what A2 is doing on YouTube, and they're educating people on their ancestry. If you identify as an American Indian, if you're not sure you're an American Indian, you can reach out to A2 for more information. They have a show every weekday, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. called the Cab Grand Rising Show. And they educate on the history of American Indians and how some people who are actually American Indians and don't identify as one could technically be by doing their genealogy. I did my genealogy with the help of A2. That's the nickname for Auchtoctones Assembly. And I found out that I'm a part of the Saponi Catawba Nation. I went back 6 or 7 generations and realized that most of my grandparents were Indians, but also was informed of the Walter Plecker era, where he completely erased American Indians off the Virginia status. And so what I will say is that if I had known that when I was applying for scholarships, I would have won more scholarships. And so it's important to know who you actually are by genealogy and not by what culture or the norm says you are. My sister asked, what advice do you give students that don't have a hard luck story but still want scholarships? I hear that all the time. Students say, well, everything's been fine. Basically been raised with a silver spoon in your mouth. That's fine. There are 2 different types of scholarships: merit-based scholarships and need-based scholarships. Need-based scholarships, NEED, need-based scholarships are determined by your household income. Does your household income, that's what you report to the FAFSA, say that you have a financial need? Does it say that? If it says that, then you qualify for need-based scholarships. But you also want to look at each individual need-based scholarship that you come across, because every need-based scholarship doesn't have the same quota or eligibility as the next one. So they may say your EFC or your estimated family contribution based on what your FAFSA says has to be $1,000 or below. And another scholarship could say it needs to be 0. So you want to read that. All those terms I just said, EFC, FAFSA, they seem like Greek to you or foreign language to you, then please take the time to go to dopefordegrees.com. I have created a series of videos called Our Quick Steps to Graduate Debt Free. And I break down the meaning behind those terms, and I also give you some advice to help you begin your scholarship process. But if you don't qualify for need-based scholarships, then you can qualify for merit-based scholarships. And that's not based on a sob story or a hard luck story. That's based on your talents, your abilities, your aspirations, and who you are as a person. It's more so merit-based scholarships look more at you you than you and your family, or you and your household income. And so what advice I would say is stick true to who you are. Never lie in a scholarship essay. Never say you went through something that you didn't. Never say that you accomplished something that you didn't. Be completely honest. But also, while you're doing that, be true and be truthful, because I will tell you right now, I've heard stories of people who lied in their scholarship essays, and they'll call you back and say, hey, we want you to come in for an interview. We're choosing the final round of applicants, or we're selecting the winner this round. And so we need you to come in for an interview. And they don't review what they read. And so they go into that interview stating something that's completely contradictory to what they wrote in the essay. And they're like, this doesn't match up. And they say, oh, I'm sorry, try to get over with it. But no, tell the truth at all times. And if you didn't have a hard luck story, don't try to act as if you did. Find the scholarships that will fit your needs. And those are merit-based scholarships, MERIT-based scholarships. So those are the two categories of scholarships. Hope that helps. I would say that merit-based scholarships, where do you find them? You can easily find them online. In that last link I just dropped in this chat, there are a list of websites you can use to begin your scholarship process to help you find those scholarships. It's 3:28. So we have a couple minutes left before we close out this chat. What I will say is that you should be applying for at least, let me change that. You should be finding at least 5 scholarships every day. TMH said, what are some of the biggest mistakes made from people who see students who have won scholarships? Like, people thought you won a lump sum of $200K and didn't have to do any more work. Excuse me. And thought all your money was sitting in the bank. Scholarships are given to the schools. Typically, the check is written to the school, and it goes to the school on your behalf, and it hits your student account and is used to pay your bill to attend that institution. When I was a senior in high school, I applied for more than 30 scholarships, and I won 14 of them, totaling more than $100,000. I did that in 5 months. And so I won more than $100,000 in scholarships, and people thought I had $100,000 in the bank. That wasn't the case. A good portion of those scholarships I won when I was a senior in high school didn't actually go to Virginia Tech, where I attended and where I graduated from. They actually they were from other institutions. And so when I chose Virginia Tech, I lost a lot of those scholarships. And the ones that I was able to retain, they were enough to cover my first year. But I knew I would have to keep applying to graduate debt free. And so what typically happens when you get a scholarship and it goes to the school is it's used to pay for that semester. And you have the ability, sometimes, every school is different, I'm not speaking for all schools, to, if you have extra money, like I did, I would say, hey, don't give me that in a refund check. Put that on my bill for next semester, or put that on my bill for the following year, so I know it's paid in advance and I can calculate how much I need based on that. And it gives me more runway and time to apply for more scholarships to meet that extra need that's coming up. And so what typically happens is they're placed in a certain semester or placed in a certain year that you will be in school, and the excess amount is given to you in a refund check, and that's refunded, what I found, within a month of the beginning of that semester. And so that $100,000, I took a good portion of it, went to school, and my first refund check was more than $10,000. My first semester of college, and I was 18 years old, and that was my money. That went to my account with my name on it. Not my parents' account, that went to my account. And if you want to know exactly how much I received in refund checks over the course of my first year in school, you please watch that. Click the last link I've dropped in this chat. The last video talks about it, but I encourage you to watch the videos in chronological order. And so scholarships are not a get-rich-quick approach. Take a lot of hard work, but they will pay off, because it'll teach you how to be a better writer, a better communicator, a better speaker, and therefore you'll succeed in life, because the 2 skills you need in life throughout your whole entire life is the ability to speak and the ability to write. If you can do those 2, you can generate so much money in so little time. And those are typically the skills people spend they spend the least amount of time on, those 2 skills, which is what you need, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter where you want to go. It's 3:32. So that ends today's community scholarship chat. TMH said, great answer. Thanks for sharing. My pleasure. I hope this conversation was helpful. I hope I was able to help some people. If you ever have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section of any of my videos, or you can contact me I'll drop that link once again so everyone has it. Contact me through my website. I'll be more than happy to help you. Also, this week, stay tuned to Dough for Degrees. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe at your earliest convenience. It will make sure you get alerts, and it will also help us provide better content to you all. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I will talk to y'all soon. Sister, thank you for that feedback too. She said, good job. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.